How's it going, guys? And welcome back to the channel. And today we are back at it with another HellDivers 2 video. We have seen a patch being released today, and this actually fixes some enemies where we get some bug fixes, and I mean that quite literally. And then we've got some gameplay fixes and some general fixes with some known issues as well. And we've got some new stratagems that I want to quickly go over. And we have an updated major order to look at too. So let's get the video started. So as always, over on Twitter, HellDivers 2 official Twitter account released this earlier today. Support incoming, we have issued a patch for players that addresses enemy spawn rates, UI fixes, and general stability. So this is patch 1.000.102, and it starts off with balancing, and this is enemies. The amount of heavily armored targets that spawn on higher difficulties, especially for Terminids, have been a big discussion point online and internally. The intent is for groups to have to bring some form of anti-tank capability, but not to the degree previously needed. To that end, we have reduced the spawn rate of Chargers and Bile Titans on difficulty 7 and up. In addition, we have reduced the risk of spawn spikes of Chargers and Bile Titans. Please note that we have changed the distribution of enemy types, not reduced difficulty. We expect other enemy types to appear in greater numbers instead. So they did say they was going to start sorting out the enemies, and I'm glad they have. Pure and simply because there's been a lot of players, especially higher tier players, like it says here from 7 and up, that have been giving their feedback and saying that there is too many Chargers and Bile Titans. Now, I'm glad they're sorting this out, and especially with spawn spikes of the two enemies as well. They actually need to sort the spawn spikes out for most of the enemies. I know myself, especially when I'm fighting automatons, I will just be running and boom, they'll come straight on top of me. They'll just spawn in. And I've had it with Terminids, and I've seen loads of other videos online of that happening too. But this is a good start, especially for the higher difficulties, because this has been a problem that people have been saying they need fixing. And then underneath that, we are humbled by the community's ability to find things like Chargers leg meta in our game. However, spending our heavy anti-tank weapons on legs instead of the obvious weak point seems counter to expectation. We are not changing anything regarding the Charger's legs. We are, however, lowering the health of the Charger's head. It should now be at a point where a well-placed shot from a recoilless rifle or EAT-17 instantly kills a Charger. Together with the unfortunately undocumented change of last patch that it increased the armor penetration ability of less well-placed shots for EAT-17s and recoilless rifle shots, Chargers should now be easier to handle by well-equipped groups. This is another fantastic change. You should not at any point in any game be doing more damage by shooting a leg than a head. This is a much needed change. I'm glad they've implemented it, and it's going to make dealing with enemies so much better. There's been plenty of times that I've been pumping some shots into a Charger's head and it takes ages. But as soon as you aim at the legs, bang, bang, they're on the floor and then they're just easy to kill. Again, it didn't make sense, and I'm glad they have made this change. It's going to make playing the game that little bit better. And these changes all add up in the end. And then moving on, we've got gameplay. Electronic Countermeasures Operation Modifier, which had a chance of giving you a random stratagem instead of the one you input, has been removed in order to be reworked and will be introduced in a future iteration. We found that this modifier wasn't communicated clearly enough and overall caused more frustration than excitement with the way it was currently implemented. This change was made in the previous patch but was unintentionally omitted from the patch notes. And then we've got fixes, fixed missing text on several HUD UI elements, fixed several subtitle voiceover mismatches in the news videos, fixed various crashes that occurred mid-gameplay and when deploying to missions. I will cover the known issues in this because it isn't a massive patch update. Known issues: game crashes when attempting to use a stim while inside an exosuit. Pink artifacts may appear in the sky when setting off large explosions. Automaton dropship seemingly disappears and slides in after being shot down. Shots from arc-based weapons may not count towards kills in post-mission stats. Players cannot unfriend other players befriended via friend code. Cross-platform friend invites might not show up in the friend request tab, and cross-platform players may not be able to accept friend requests. This is a massive issue, and I've seen loads of this one in my comments, so I'm glad they've got this as a known issue, and no doubt they will be fixing it very shortly. Players may be unable to select loadout or return to ship when joining a multiplayer session via PS5 activity card. The exosuit can destroy itself with rockets if it fires while turning. Thank you, because that is a pain in the ass. FYI, if you didn't know, it's when you turn right. That is the issue there. Well, it is for me anyway. Every time I turn right and fire a rocket, boom, I'm dead. Text chat box display is obstructed by the cinematic letterboxing during extraction. So, by all accounts, this isn't a meaty patch, but it's a good patch nonetheless. These little fixes all add up to make the gameplay experience a lot better for us, and these are genuine issues that a lot of people were giving feedback over. So, well done Arrowhead for getting these patches out super quick. It is really refreshing to see. So guys, another week and another major order. We all done so well last time out, and we absolutely smashed it. But this time, we got a new major order in the form of the pesky Terminids. And this one is Termicide dispensing towers have been built all over every barrier planet. They need only to be activated to quarantine the bugs for good. I absolutely love this. This actually lines up with the patch, doesn't it, really? Because we've been struggling with too many of these enemies, and now we're going to smash up these dispensing towers and quarantine these pesky fuckers for good. The planets this time are Errata Prime, Fenrir 3, Meridia, and Turing. And as you can see, the player numbers are just mental at the minute. It's crazy. Look at that, 133,000 on Fenrir. This game just keeps pulling in players. We've all said it, but if the big boys want a lesson on how to keep retaining players and grabbing in new ones, look no further than Arrowhead's own HellDivers 2. That's all I'm going to say. So over on Twitter, the HellDivers Alert Twitter account posted these new stratagems. We've got the MG206 heavy machine gun, a very powerful but difficult to wield machine gun with intense recoil. Then underneath that, we've got the ST-1 Stinger, a single-use target-seeking anti-aircraft missile launcher. Must be locked to target before firing. That sounds really cool. MLS-4X Commando, an expendable missile launcher equipped with 4 laser-guided rockets. That sounds really cool as well. And an MS-220 missile silo, a Hellpod-sized missile silo for long-range destruction. Includes a remote to select a target and initiate launch. That sounds solid as well. They all sound solid. The machine gun probably sounds the weakest out of them all, but nonetheless, they're all pretty good additions to HellDivers 2. And this is what I love about the game. It's got so many opportunities to build up on it. It's positioned itself extremely well for longevity. I've just got a sneaky feeling we're going to get so many cool updates in the future, especially DLCs, new enemies, new planets. It's going to be epic. And we've got a new Warborn coming in a couple of days with some really cool shit in it as well. I think we've got a really good game in our hands here, guys, and it's something we're all going to be able to enjoy for quite a long time. Guys, let me know what you think about the patch notes, the new major order, and the new stratagems down below in the comment section. But guys, that is the end of the video. Leave a thumbs up on the video if you're a fan of democracy, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button as well, especially for more HellDivers 2 content. But as always, take care of yourself, and I'll see you on the next video, guys.